Hey everyone, it's Jim T. Graham with RC Groups, and I'm back with Mike from ZAP for the ZAP Glue How To. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, what's going on, Jim?
So I'm excited. We're going above and beyond today. Now we've done some crazy things. Mike, the crazy thing that we're going to do with our that hasn't gone live yet. I'm saving it for Friday. But we've done some other crazy things. We've used glue on foam that was too hot for the foam. We've used kicker as perfume. There's a lot we've done, but today it's really going to get in depth. It's a how-to on the Z-Poxy finishing resin, which is above my skill level. I have to admit, I've never had to use such a thing. And Mike has been preparing this for at least a week now. Yep. So sit back, grab yourself an icy cold cup of water or coffee. That would be warm. And let's get into this. I'm going to go to Mike and let the show begin.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, everyone. So most of you know ZAP through Zap-A-Gap, ZAP-CA, and the CAs, right? As well as our Z-Poxy in the 5, 15, and 30 minute. However, there is this wonderful product that a lot of you are currently using, and that is our finishing resin. So if you are doing fiberglassing, so you're finishing up your airplane and you're doing your fiberglassing, this here, dun, 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 dun.
Nice.
That is the finishing resin from ZAP, and it's our ZAP Z-Poxy finishing resin. And we offer it in 2 sizes. So the one here, this is our 4-ounce set. So you get 2 ounces of resin and 2 ounces of hardener. And then our larger one is our 12-ounce set, 6 ounces of resin, 6 ounces of hardener. It is odorless. I apologize for the clear formula. You'll see that it actually has a brown hue to it. Sands easily to a smooth finish. It's great for applying fiberglass, cloth, laminating, wood, and foam. So if you want to increase the finish and strength on your foam, this is a great way to do it. Working time, 20 to 30 minutes, and then cures in 3 hours. The three hours is when you'll start to be able to sand like all of our adhesives, true full cure, 24 hours. And we could go into after this, Jim. I think you'll be really interested in one of the other industries that's loving this is the music industry.
Okay.
So what you got is a lot of people in the music side are using this product for doing some finish work on their violins, guitars, fiddles, and things like that, because you get that golden hue. It does a great job of filling the pores and whatnot. So today we're going to be working with the 4-ounce set. This is our PT-41. And before Jim gets inundated with a million emails of that's not how I do it, I'm going to show you is the way that I do this and how I teach this. And so there's just like skinning a cat, there's probably a million ways to do this. And each club has an individual there that's probably really good at it. And they may do it this way. They may not do it this way. But this is just one way to do it. Okay. So what we're going to start with is our piece of balsa wood and a piece of lightweight cloth. And I am actually going to bring, I don't know if it's going to be a little hard to see, but what this is a radiator brush. You can find them at your local hardware store, like Ace, True Value, things like that. And what we're going to do is we are going to actually brush the fiberglass. And what this is going to do is this is going to add a static cling to the fiberglass cloth. And now what that has done is that's going to hold that cloth in place for us. And let's go ahead and mix up our resin. I'll move this just up a little bit. It's 1-to-1. So don't worry about thinning this out. It's 1 part resin, 1 part hardener.
And you're just determining that by eye?
What I do with it, I didn't cut the tip on this one. I apologize. Get my knife out. So it's going to be hard to see, but what I will do is I will place these bottles straight up and down. And then you look at the fill line and make sure that the fill lines match up each time. And then you know that you are using the same one part of each. So that's how I do it. Okay. Little mixing stick here. And I wish I could show you off on the side, but what I'm doing is what I'm doing here on the side is I'm just looking at my fill line. I don't know if you can see my finger on the left-hand side. I'm just watching my fill line as the bottles settle.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now I'll put this back to the center.
It is a beautiful golden color right there.
It is. It gives it a nice golden hue. All right. Now, this is a mixing card that Robart has. All right. Little QR code there, which will take you to my YouTube video on doing this product.
That's awesome.
So if you see me at any of the shows, Jonal, Toledo, so on and so forth, I'll have these cards with me. Okay, now back to the finishing resin. So I'll just take my finishing resin. We've brushed it. Your static clinging. One thing I do also want to note is that I do not trim the fiberglass until after I'm done doing the fiberglassing. You want to have excess fiberglass around your piece. Take the finishing resin, pour it down the middle. Nice little wine bottle spin. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to cut the line basically in half. So I want to, how do I want to do this? This is going to be tough to show on video, but I'm going to show, and then I'm going to pull the resin across each way until I fill in the weave. Okay.
Which you can visually see.
Okay. So now pull that around so that you completely spread the finishing resin around your piece. Okay. Now clean up on this. So now you've got your card. And for that card, you could just use an old hotel key card, an old credit card, anything of that nature will work, right?
Your driver's license, whatever.
Yeah. All right. And then now what you're going to do is I'm going to get some of the stuff out of the way here. So I can lift this up, the piece up, and you can see. So you start to see all that glossy high spots. What that is that's additional weight on your plane, and that's additional work that has to be done for sanding at the end. So this is the time where you can lose weight on your plane. And what we're going to do is we're going to squeegee that over and take that excess finishing resin off of the piece that you're working on. And then I squeegee that over, and then I'm just wiping the excess off on an old rag. And you just keep working back and forth. And now what you can see there's no high spots, little shiny in this corner here, which tells me that I've got some excess resin over here. And there you go. So that
looks good.
Yeah, so that's coat number 1. And then what I do is I let that sit overnight. All right, don't rush it. And this is a great project for over the winter time. You're not flying, you're building that new airplane. So take your time, let this sit overnight and let it cure up. So what I have done, like Jim said, I've been working on making sure that this is ready for you. Now what we would do is, that's coat 1 right there. I got some that are all done for you.
Hold it at an angle so we can see a little bit.
Definitely.
Please.
Yeah. All right. So this is coat 1. You could see it's dull. This is just regular automotive primer. You could see the weave in here. All right. Let me see if I could bring the microphone closer and I'll give it a little scratch and you can see.
Ah, okay.
You can hear the weave in there, right? So now what you can do is you could do your cut anytime you want now that you have a finished product. All right. So I'm going to pop this off of here and we're just going to take a sanding stick, nail file stick, anything like that. And now you go along your edge and you sand off the excess fiberglass.
Oh, so easy.
Yep. And you have a nice clean edge now. And you have your fiberglass all the way to the end. And you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I cut it too short and I have to put a filler piece in or anything like that. Let this continue all the way through. Let your fiberglass continue all the way over the top of your piece. And now you've got fiberglass and you've got your resin on all the way through the piece. So next step is we want to continue to put additional coats on until we have the weave completely filled. So then you take your sanding stick, just a real high grit sandpaper, and rough it up. All right, you're going to rough that up. And then wipe it down with some denatured alcohol and redo the same exact thing that you did before. So you take your finishing resin, pour it right down the middle. Take your spreading card. And you're going to spread out the finishing resin on here. And so we have a lot of high spots. So then you get your rag and clean it up. And we've gotten rid of those highs. We got a couple little lines in there.
Right.
And if you take your time when you're doing this, what this does is it gets rid of a lot of the excess finish work as you continue down your coats of additional sanding and additional weight. You're going to get that down, but you want to add the strength and good adhesion of the fiberglass cloth onto your piece. All right. So now we've got a second coat on here. And so here is coat number 2. And now you're starting to see that nice glossy finish. You don't see really any lines.
Yeah, I love it.
You're not feeling that weave. You can't hear the scratch in there. Okay. Your primer attaches very well to this. So as you go to prime and then to paint, you're going to find that this product really takes a paint very well. And now here's 3 coats. Nice, solid. You don't have any weave. You're not seeing any weave on that. You got it takes your primer nice. So when you can go to prime, go to finish paint, and you've got that really nice glossy surface to make a beautiful aircraft.
And I guess it's fuel proof and keeps things out of that wood.
Oh, yes. Yep. So that is our finishing resin. I'm going to flip this back over here. There you go. Offered in the 2 sizes, your 4-ounce set and then your 12-ounce set.
Awesome.
So it's waterproof, it's fuel proof, it's all of those that you want it to be. I've gone through some extreme testing on this myself personally. It's an amazing, absolutely amazing product. More than just RC aircraft.
Well, I was going to say, what are some side uses? So we know that they're using these on violins for, I guess, the top coat.
Yep. Yeah, they're filling all the pores. They're using it on its first coat. Also, they're doing multiple coats, just this same process, but they're not putting a fiberglass cloth on it.
Sure.
They're applying it directly to the wood, and so it's filling those pores, and it's giving that nice sound. It's giving a good antique look.
What about knife scales and pins? Can it be used that way? I don't know why not.
Yeah. So fiberglass finishing resin doesn't have a lot of strength to it. Okay. So if you're looking for strength, the strength comes from the cloth, not from the resin.
Right.
2-part epoxy, that's strength. This is an adhesion or a filler. Okay.
Right. So just sidebar, everyone, I have made knives and I do use epoxy as well as pieces of metal to hold my scales or my handles on to my blade. But I'm always trying to find a new way to finish the wood on the outside. Mm-hmm. So you want it to be waterproof, but I also like a natural look. So maybe the finishing resin would be a good natural protectant for the wood on the outside. Yeah.
And so for an extreme test on this, I made a dog stand for my dog. And I used that cheap backing from just a cheap chest of drawers, right? That particle board stuff. I completely fiberglassed and resined it and did this. I did 3 steps, 3 steps, 3 coats to it, primed it and painted it. And I've had it outside for 8 years.
Wow. Okay.
No damage to it. Nothing. It's completely fine. And that stuff, once it gets wet, it's over. Game over. So
very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to think about ways I can use this. I'm thinking of a way right now.
There you go. So
well, that was awesome. I appreciate you doing all the steps and showing us 1, 2, and 3, because the difference between 1 and 3 is pretty vast.
It is. And as you go to the competitions and you talk to the pilots out there that are competing with these beautiful aircraft, and you're going to talk to them, and they use fiber. They're fiberglassed, and it's most of the time it's ZAP finishing resin. And there's a lot of ways, folks. I get it, and I hear it when I go to the shows. This is just one way. My process is just one way. Maybe it's not the best for you, but this is how I know to do it, and it gives a great finish to it. And it keeps the weight down, keeps the sanding down.
I have to give us a bonus here. We're about to wrap up. I did get some Plasti Zap and some kicker, and my son had a 3D printed figurine whose tail broke off. Nothing would work. I couldn't get CA to stick to it. I used some plastic 2-part that has worked on other things, wouldn't work at all. I spent an hour trying and I gave up. So I went and got some ZAP, Plasti Zap. And then what I did is I used it was brush on, right? So I just brushed some on the main part of the figurine. Then I took the tail and put my kicker on I took the stem and just touched it till it was wet. And then I put it on, and my son said, "What are we going to do when this doesn't work?" And I said, "Well, we'll find out, and I guess now." So I let go, and the dang thing worked in a matter of seconds, and now it's sitting on his desk and back together. So
and he's happy as can be, right?
Well, he was actually impressed, and impressing my son is not an easy task. So congratulations, Zap.
All right. Well, good. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's a great testimonial on how well the Plasti ZAP works.
And P.S. I took pictures along the way, and I'm probably going to do a little article and stick it in our 3D plane forum because there's a lot of guys who print 3D planes now. And if you need something that sticks 3D or 3D prints together, now we have something that you can use.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, everyone. Well, we have been talking about the ZAP Z-Poxy finishing resin with Mike and our ZAP glue how-to. You may watch one and think, well, that was kind of cool, but I guarantee you're going to be in the middle of a build. You're going to get stuck and you're going to go, wait a minute. Mike and Jim have been doing these how-tos. I wonder if they're going to go over a thing that I need for this plane. And I guarantee that we will, because we're going through every product ZAP has made or has available.
That's it. So,
okay.
Thank you so much, everybody. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks, Jim.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. RC Groups, Robart, ZAP, and all the affiliated distributors are listed down in the description. Bye-bye.